To all the haters out there that think I only talk about movies outdoors now, look where we are, bitch. We're inside. Yeah, I'm not, and I repeat, not gonna be talking about Across the Spider-Verse outside. Hey, what the f***? Outside universe. Oh. Hey, yo, what? Is this a universe where Bert Kreischer is famous? Well, I guess there's no fighting this. I'm gonna go put a shirt on and grab a chair. We're gonna do this outside.
I was actually considered handsome by scientist standards. I had a little accident. Now look at me.
I just saw it Across the Spider-Verse, the hotly anticipated follow-up to Into the Spider-Verse, a critically acclaimed and beloved movie that I really enjoyed. Across the Spider-Verse, though, is all set up. And you know why that is? Because it's a part 1 of 2. I love part 1s of 2s. I love when you split up a story, into 2 parts for no reason. Oh, it's too long? Shut the up. Make it 1 movie. There's a lot of setup in this. In fact, it's like 2 acts. The first half is Act 1, and the second half is Act 2. And the third act is Part 2, which we haven't got yet. But there's a lot of setup in this, and most of it I was here for. I was really excited about it. Oh, where's this going? Man, Miles Morales? He's trying to figure out his life. It's kind of Spider-Man 2-esque. He's got to learn to balance being Spider-Man with being himself, connecting with his parents. Where's that going to go? Nowhere. Oh, his mom and dad are characters now. That's cool. They're emotionally distant from their son. They want what's best for him, but they want to be there for him at all times. But he has to, spread his wings. He's got to be his own man. They have to figure that out. Where's that going to... Nowhere. Oh, man, Spot. New, cool villain who can throw little portals everywhere. And he's going to come for vengeance on Miles because he hates him. This is going to be such an interesting... Oh, he's not even in the back half of the movie. Miguel. Cool new guy. Morally gray. Neutral. Where's he going to go? Is he going to figure out that Miles is right and that the multiverse isn't going to explode? No. It's just a lot of setup. It's a lot of setup without going anywhere. It's a lot of setup that is leading into part 2. And that's the most frustrating part. If you're going to do this, if you're going to make a trilogy, or you're going to split a story into 2 parts, you need to have your A story, which in this case is Miles Morales, finish. Simple as that. There's plenty of movies you can look at that have trilogies that are done segmented into parts that have threads that lead into other movies. But the A story is almost always concluded to a satisfactory degree. This one isn't. This one, the only character who's satisfying in their arc is Gwen Stacy, who has this elongated opening 15 minutes where we see her backstory. Her and her dad are at odds, just like Miles. There's a theme of parenting throughout this. And he kind of ostracizes her. He says she's going to be arrested, just as is normal for Spider-Man and now Spider-Woman and Spider-People. And so she leaves. She abandons him because she thinks he doesn't love her anymore. So she goes with Miguel and the Spider Boys and the Spider Hunters or whatever you call them. Oh, it's so emotional. And then at the end, she has a confrontation with him. That's great. They have this long monologue back and forth. I don't want to be a cop anymore if it means losing you. I love you. The best thing that I've ever done. Kind of cliche stuff, but pretty good. Pretty good anyway. And that wraps up nicely. That's the only thing, though. That really should have been the main story. Focus on Gwen. It would have been a change of pace not to have Miles Morales be the lead, but I think making Gwen the lead makes a lot more sense. You could have followed her as she leaves her dad. It goes into the Spider Hunters Guild. We could have seen other multiverses, seen how things are working with them, seen Miguel, seen how he is as a character, understood who he was, understood the complexities of being morally gray, figuring out his backstory, which we figure out, and it's nice. It's pretty good. and we could learn through the actions of the characters about these other characters. And of course, Miles would be there because she ends up going to his world to investigate the thing. You could have that be the same thing. She goes to investigate Spot. Spot is this crazy guy who's causing a rift in the multiverse. Go investigate him, Gwen Stacy. I won't go check out Miles Morales. And then she does, and Miles can come into the story then. I think that works. And then you have that wrapped up with her and her dad. Boom, wrap up. But Miles has to be the main character, which means we have 3 or 4 subplots that just don't feel like they go anywhere. They are all going into part 2, over into that nebulous area of floating nothing right now, because this movie's unsatisfying as is. And that's why I can't say I love this. There's a lot about it that's fantastic. The music is fantastic. The animation is fantastic. I love seeing all the different multiverses we go to that have just a hint of different art direction or style to them to give them a freshness. Voice acting is great. All of the technical stuff is really strong. And a lot of the character and story stuff is strong, or at least it starts off strong. It just doesn't finish. It feels like everything is kind of left up for part 2 to finish, which is frustrating because this is a Act 1 and an Act 2 of what should have been a story, and now we're going to get Act 3 later. It's like literally getting paywalled out of your ending. It's almost the exact same type of feeling I had at the ending of Hobbit Part 2 when Smaug is flying towards the city and then it hard cuts to black. Like, where was that ending? It's over now? Okay. But that's the reason why I can't call this fantastic, even though a lot of it is. And if it had an ending, I think it could have been fantastic. If you plugged on an hour to the end of this, I know that makes it 3.5 hours and long movies. I can't do it. 3.5 hour animated, awesome Miles Morales movie, I would be there for. Everybody would be there for if you just had the ending. Spot, the main villain, not in the back half of the movie. There's some great stuff with him. An opening fight scene with him and Miles Morales. That's really fun. They're popping in and out of places. He feels like a villain of the week, and they make fun of that villain of the week, and then he slowly gets more powerful, and then vanishes. The fact that this movie won't make a shitload of money is the reason why they're segmenting it into 2 parts, because they want to make a shitload of money, but then you just have to make another budget for another 2-hour movie. Just add another hour to this one. I know that'd be more budget, but it'd be less budget than making another 2-hour movie, right? Am I wrong? This is so weird to me. Part 1s and 2s I don't love, and that's kind of the diatribe of this video and why they fail, and why this one, while good, kind of fails too. I like it. I think I'd give it a 7, which is good. I think it's good. I think it's watchable, and yet here I am telling you I won't recommend it. Don't watch it until the part 2 comes out. I know it's tempting. I know it's alluring. I wouldn't be able to not see this until part 2 comes out, so I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But I would not recommend seeing this until part 2 is out, because the story's not done. The story is loading. The story is unfinished. It's like an EA game. They paywalled me out of an ending. So I would not recommend seeing this until part 2 when the story concludes, because unlike Into the Spider-Verse, which is a self-contained one story where you could just put it on anytime and watch it, you can't put this on without the other one. You really can't, in my opinion. I know I'm going to catch some shit for this, because this is the best movie ever made, right? But I have a proposition for you. How about you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss an opportunity to be angry at me?